Saudi Aramco. Safety Officer. Written Model Exam. Questions and answers. Questions. Flammable materials storages areas cannot be located. Within of other buildings or structures. A. 25 feet. B. 50 feet. C. 50 meters. D. 100 feet. Answers is B. 50 feet. Questions. The ratio of vertical to horizontal spacing for a straight of extension ladder is A. 1:1 ratio. B. 2:1 ratio. C. 3:1 ratio. D. 4:1 ratio. Answers is D. 4:1 ratio. Questions. What is restricted area? A. Mess hall, pipelines, tanks, oil well. B. Assembly area, pipelines, tanks, hydrocarbons process unit. C. Petroleum plants, pipelines, wells and security gate. D. Petroleum plants, pipelines, wells, sewage treatments plants, loading piers. Answers is D. Petroleum plants, pipelines, wells, sewage treatments plants, loading piers. Questions. A straight or extension ladder must extend over the edge of a roof, excavation, or scaffold platform by a minimum distance of A. 1 foot. B. 4 feet. C. 0.9 meter. D. No set distances. Answers is C. 0.9 meter. Questions. A work permit is A. A communication between issuer, receiver and workers. B. With work permit we control work by giving people permission to specific work. C. Work permit allows specific work on specific equipment with specific procedure. D. All of the above. Answers is C. Work permit allows specific work on specific equipment with specific procedure. Questions. Work platforms must have toe boards, mid-rails, top rails and access ladders once they reach a height of A. 4 feet. B. 8 feet. C. 6 feet. D. When the height is 4 times greater than the base. Answers is C. 6 feet. Questions. Excavation spoils must be set back a minimum of ... from the sides of the excavation. A. 1 meter. B. 6 feet. C. 3 feet. D. 2 feet. Answers is D. 2 feet. Questions. The maximum working pressure on an acetylene gauge is pounds per square inch gauge. A. 7 per square inch. B. 10 per square inch. C. 15 per square inch. D. 19.50 per square inch. Answers is C. 15 per square inch. Questions. The maximum allowable slopes, HV, type B for the excavation. A 1/4:1, 53 degree. B. 1:1, 45 degree. C. 1.5, 1, 34 degree. D. None of the above. Answers is B. 1:1, 45 degree. Questions. Which of the following would be classified as a Class A fire? A. A fire involving ordinary combustibles. B. A fire involving flammable liquids. C. A fire involving combustible metals. D. A fire involving live electrical equipment. Answers is A. A fire involving ordinary combustibles. Questions. The soil type that is least stable in an excavation is A. Type A. B. Type B. C. Type C. Answers is C. Type C. Questions. What is necessary for a worker to wear on a steel beam 6 feet or more above ground? A. A steel belt with steel or brass couplings. B. A full-body harness with lanyard attached to an anchor point. C. He must never go on a steel beam. D. None of the above. Answers is B. A full-body harness with lanyard attached to an anchor point. Questions. Which of the following factors does not affect the load capacity of mobile crane? A. Boom length. B. Boom angle. C. Extending the outriggers fully. D. Installation of an anti-tow block device. Answers is D. Installation of an anti-tow block device. Questions. How far apart shall access, egress ladders be in excavations? A. 10 feet. B. 15 feet. C. 50 feet. D. 25 feet. Answers is D. 25 feet. Questions. A small mobile crane with rubber tires has struck a power line. The line, which is now believed to be dead, is lying across the crane boom. Which of the following best describes the proper course of action for the crane operator? A. Jump from the crane and run away. B. Stay in the crane until emergency crews arrive. C. Have the oiler knock the line from the boom with a wood pole. D. Swing the boom back and forth until the line breaks or falls off. Answers is B. Stay in the crane until emergency crews arrive. Questions. Lanyard lifeline, fall arrest system components and anchorage point capacity of A. 6,000 pounds. B. 5,000 pounds. C. 3,500 pounds. D. 2,000 kilogram. Answers is B. 5,000 pounds. Questions. How long should the appointed fire watch remain at the site of hot work after the work has stopped? A. 10 minutes. B. 15 minutes. C. 20 minutes. D. 30 minutes. Answers is D. 30 minutes. Questions. One purpose of the anti-tow block device on cranes is A. To determine the weight of the load being lifted. B. To prevent cribbing blocks from contacting outriggers floats. C. To determine the length of the wire rope that has been extended. D. To prevent the overhaul ball from contacting the boom sheaves. Answers is D. To prevent the overhaul ball from contacting the boom sheaves. Questions. What are the most important self-developed skill of a site safety officer? A. Conduct site safety inspections with a checklist. B. Develop a safety inspection checklist based on knowledge and anticipated hazards. C. Conduct toolbox safety meeting. D. Product good looking report. Answers is B. Develop a safety inspection checklist based on knowledge and anticipated hazards. Questions. Eye and face protection protect workers from hazard like A. Crushing. B. Liquid chemical. C. Falling. D. Rolling. Answers is B. Liquid chemical. Questions. Which of these is the first step to take when conducting a risk assessment? A. Evaluate the risk. B. Review the finding. C. Identify the hazards. D. Update risk assessment. Answers is C. Identify the hazards. Questions. Portable fire extinguishers should only be used for the stage of fire. A. Late. B. mid. C. Beginning. D. End. Answers is C. Beginning. Questions. The basic fire theory says that a fire needs four main elements in order to start: heat, fuel, oxygen and dash. A. Hydrogen sulfide. B. Carbon dioxide. C. Benzene. D. A chain reaction. Answers is D. A chain reaction.